So you can start by prophetically praying for your family. And you can try to start being resourceful to your family. You can talk more about Jesus. You see, friends, a problem we have, if I may call it a problem, is that we talk too much about church instead of Jesus. We keep bringing church into the picture. I know it's natural because we're so much in love with our church. We're so much in love with this environment. And we keep bringing church into the picture all the time. Or if you come to my church, if you attend my church. Well, all of this is good. I understand you. But please be more resourceful. It's not about the church. It's about Jesus Christ. Because your relatives, they might think, I don't want to change religion. I don't want to become a Western religion person. I don't want to change. I was born like this. You might have heard this, right? I was born, and add whatever they have told you. I was raised a good. I was raised a good. Blah, 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 right? You don't want to change that. You don't need to change that. What you need to do is to introduce Jesus Christ to them. And you need to tell them, yeah, my church is a good church, yes. But what makes the difference in my life is Jesus Christ. And as you introduce Jesus Christ to them, they're going to see the difference. Tell them that your God is a powerful God. Tell them that your God can change things in their lives. Don't be afraid. Don't be arrogant either. But don't be afraid to tell your relatives that your God is the Almighty God. Because that is the kind of God they're looking for. They're looking for a God like that. And the time will come that if you keep telling them about this, they will ask you, hopefully, or maybe they ask somebody else, about God. So the third one and the last one is face the responsibility. Now let us read this Bible verse slowly so that you understand what it says. Okay? Let's do this. 1, 2, 3, go. But if anyone does not provide for his own, and especially for those of his household, he has denied the faith and is worse than an unbeliever. It's very clear. Although this is in a different context, this is not talking about bringing the gospel to a family, but it gives you the notion and the understanding, the principle that if you do not care primarily for your household, unfortunately, you become worse than the unbeliever. So, as we live today, we needed to pray, God, let me help my family. Let me help my family to find you. Maybe they will not because of their own will. But this is not what you should consider. You should do what you can do. And now you say, Pastor, I've tried everything. I believe there's still something to try. What you need is just pray a little longer. Pray a little harder. And say, God, help me to do something else so that my family can get to know you. Maybe you need to be a better believer to begin with. Maybe you need to be a better follower of Jesus Christ. Maybe you need to be a better example to your relatives. Maybe you need to exercise more faith in your own living. But definitely, you need to come closer to God and say, God, help me. Give me the right strategy so I can reach out to my family. It may be a word. It may be a book. It may be a movie. It may be a gift. I don't know, but God knows, and you needed to be on that track of being resourceful and active in order to win your relatives for the Lord. Otherwise, you're acting very, very away from God's will for you. God's will is to save everyone, including your relatives. God's will is to use those who are closest to your relatives. Guess who? You. The Bible teaches that the wife, the saved wife, bless the home. As you are married to an unbeliever, you need to understand that you bless your home because salvation came to your family, to your home because of you. And so is the husband anyway. But you need to understand that believing that your husband one day will be saved only is not enough. You need to be proactive towards this. Start by prophesying God's blessing upon your relatives, especially wives and husbands. You know why? Because you know their weaknesses. You live with them. You know how the devil is attacking them. So you can prophetically address God's words to their lives. And as you prophetically pray over your relatives, over your family, you're going to see that God's power will come to your family and is going to redirect things because you have prophesied over the family, over your family. Let me close with one illustration, one I like very much and speak to me every time I remember it. It happened in a small town, a little-sized town in America. One little girl, probably 5, 6, maybe years old, she got lost. Somehow, she got lost from her parents. And she was frightened and she was afraid and she started kind of crying. Then, a police officer noticed the little girl was lost, or someone told him there was a little girl lost. And he came close to this little girl. And as that big policeman was coming towards her, you can imagine, little girl, look at that blue uniform coming towards her, carrying a gun and all that. And she was even more scared. She was even more scared, and she started crying really heavily because now she didn't know what to believe. Is this guy going to hurt me? Is this guy going to... She was all kind of, And so the policeman came and tried his best to come around and take the fear away and try to, make a point and try to establish a point of contact with this little girl. And he made it. And so he started talking to her. Hey, little girl, you lost, right? Yeah, I'm lost. Yeah, okay. No problem. I'll take care of you, okay? Do you know where you live? Do you know your address or telephone number or where you live? No, I don't. Probably she was scared and confused. No, I don't. Oh, okay, so I'd like to take you home because I know your parents must be looking for you too. Oh yeah, my parents are looking for me, but I don't know where to go. Okay, no problem. So let's do that. Let's play a game here, okay? Let's play a game. The officer said, I'm going to ask you, show you, tell you some buildings. And if those buildings are near your place, you let me know. So at least I know more or less where your house is. Oh yeah, okay. And then he said, okay, how about a bus station? Is there a big bus station, near your place? No. Okay. How about a train station? A train station. Is there a train station near your place? No. Okay, how about a hospital? A hospital, okay? A hospital? No, there's no. And the girl started getting more anxious about this. And she said, oh my goodness. And then she said, oh, I remember one thing. I said, okay, tell me, what is it? There is a building, a big building with a cross on top of it. The policeman said, oh, really? Okay, that must be a church. Yeah, I think I know where there is a big church. And then the girl said, please, officer, take me to the cross. And from there, I take you to my home. I find my way. Friends, I hope you got the point. We need to bring our family members to the cross. To the cross. To the cross of salvation. Sometimes we talk too much about hell. If you keep doing like this, devil is waiting for you. talks about hell. And you know what? Hell is for real. You know that? Burns. And I don't want you to go to hell. You're all going to be heaven, you know. You're going to be hell. I'm going to be so sorry for you, looking you down and you're in hell. You know, sometimes we speak too much about hell. Remember these friends, they know they're in hell already. They may not tell you, but they know. They know they need Jesus. They don't want to admit that. They may not know that Jesus is what they need, but they know that. What we needed to do is like that officer trying to bring that young girl to a cross. We need to bring our relatives, bring their attention to the cross. Because once they find the cross of Jesus in their lives, once they find the meaning of the cross, they will find their way home to God. And that is our job towards our relatives. Those are the 3 steps I want to pass on to you. And as I mentioned to you, we needed to prophesy salvation over our relatives. We need to declare they are saved. Because this is God's will for them. Not your will, God's will. You don't know my uncle. I don't need to know your uncle, okay? I don't want to know your uncle. But I know in God's heart, salvation is granted to your uncle. Yes. And you need to pray God's will, not your will. Oh, my uncle's so bad to me, I want to be burned in hell. Don't say that. Don't say that. Because that's not God's will for him. You just pray, God, you know, reach this man, reach this lady. Save them. Because this is what God wants. Secondly, be active and resourceful in what you do for God in relation to your family. Don't let a day pass by without addressing this before God and try to be resourceful and bring your family to the knowledge of Christ. I'm not saying that you should speak every time, every meal, no, but you know, God's going to guide you if you really put your heart into it. And thirdly, face the responsibility. Face the responsibility. We're going to work. You wake up every day. We wake up every day and we go to work. That's it. That's our life. We need to work. We need to understand that this is your responsibility to preach the gospel. And you can pray that maybe someone meets these friends of yours, this relative of yours on the street and speak the gospel to them. You don't know, but if you don't pray and actively use and be resourceful towards them, they may miss the chance. I'm going to ask you to stand with me now, please.